Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jordan. For those of you who do, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a look using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. There are a lot of fun colors in here that I was super inspired by, and this is the look we created. It's you know, it's fun. It's got some different fun colors. It's just not your typical like brown smoky eye. It's got a gorgeous nude lip with it. So if you guys like what you see here, then keep on watching. Alright, so let's get started. Today, I think we're going to be doing a look with this Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. Has lots of fun colors in it. Lately, I've been kind of feeling these orangey tones and some of these pink tones. So I think that's what we're going to go with today. But to start, we shall moisturize the skin. I'm using the Henriksen Sea Rush Brightening Gel Cream. I seriously love this stuff for moisturization. Just gives you like that nice, dewy, healthy glow. Now my brows are already done, so we are going to be able to just jump right in, honey. While that is soaking in, we are going to start with the eyes. So since I already did my brows, I concealed, I have a base on, it's just my concealer. And I'm going to start today with this shade Eccentric. And I'm going to just be taking a fluffy blending brush. This is the IT Cosmetics Blending Crease Brush number 109. I'm going to be dipping it right into Eccentric and working it onto the upper crease, up on the brow bone, and making sure I just bring it all the way from the outer corner to the inner corner. Next, I'm going to be taking this kind of pinkish color. It's called Love. And with the same brush, I'm going to really focus this corner in the crease. And you really want to make sure that you're using small circular motions when you're blending to make sure that you're getting the color everywhere you want it and your shadow's not skipping over your lid. And just blend, honey. Blend for days. Literally blend until you can't blend anymore. So next, I really think I want to darken up the crease a little bit. So I'm going to take this kind of taupey color called Volatile, and I'm taking a smaller tapered blending brush. This is the Morphe M507, and I'm just going to dip it in there and focus it really just right in the center of the crease. Focus that color right there. Alright, now that I have those colors nice and blended together, I'm going to go in with my lid shade, and I'm going to use this sparkly pink Wild Child, and I'm going to wet my brush a bit, wet my butt, oh god, dip that right in there, and just take it on the lid. And I'm just going to pack the color on here, working it up into the crease. Love it. Okay, now that I have that lid shade nice and packed on, I'm just gonna go back in with my blending brush. I'm gonna dip it back into the crease colors that we use, which were Love and Volatile, is that kind of pinky color and the more taupey color. And I'm just going to darken up the outer corner a little bit. Make sure I blend it really well with the sparkles. We don't want any hard lines there. And then just do a quick sweep in the crease and just blend it out. Like so. Alright, now that I have everything nice and blended out, I'm gonna hydrate. And I'm gonna go in with some liner. Today I'm gonna be using the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper Black. And since I'm doing kind of more of a rounded look, I'm just gonna take the thin line just right across the lash line, nothing crazy. And by keeping the eyeshadow and the liner round, you create kind of that round eye look, and it's almost doll-like. So now I'm gonna put my lashes on. Today I'm gonna be using the Huda Beauty Samantha number 7, and I'm gonna put the lashes on off camera and I'll be back. Okay, so we have our lashes on and we will come back and finish our eyes after we do our skin, which is my favorite part. I love just like getting my skin to look, you know, perfect, but also still looking like skin. So to start today, I'm using the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, and I'm going to just dip my beauty blender in there because, you know, sanitary. And I'm just gonna work it all over my skin, especially focusing in areas where I feel like I have gigantic fucking pores, which I'm working on, but hello, pores, huge. So those areas would be my cheeks, my nose, and just a little tiny bit like right in the center of my forehead. So next I'm going to be going in with just a little bit of concealer, and I'm just going to spot conceal a few of my blemishes, and I just like to conceal blemishes first just because I like to cover them up before I go in and try to create that really gorgeous even layer. Most people do that after they go in with their foundation, kind of just preference, I suppose. So I'm just gonna blend those in quickly. I like using a blurring concealer brush. This is another IT Cosmetics brush, just to quickly stipple over the top of those and then blend out the edges. Obviously I don't wanna put the brush too much over the top of the blemish. I just really wanna work out the edges because I'm trying to keep as much of the product as I can right over the edges there. So just stipple and blend. Next I'm going to go in with my foundation. This is the Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Vallauris. It's the 1.5. This one has kind of more pinky undertones, which my skin does. So I'm just going to squirt 2 pumps on the back of my hand, and I'm going to go in with this Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood complexion brush. With the small end, I'm just gonna apply the foundation all over my face. And then I'm gonna go in with the bigger brush and buff it out. I really like this foundation because it's nice and full coverage, but it still looks like my skin. It's not very mattifying, it's more of a radiant foundation, so I feel like I still get that summertime glow which I especially like, you know, kind of just keeping my glow. I don't get too oily, so I really like this foundation. I also think it's super buildable and just easy to like buff out and apply, which I like. Making sure I take it down my neck, also up on the ears a bit. I don't need to take it up too close to my eyes because I'm going to conceal and brighten there in just a minute. But before I do that, I'm just going to take one more small pump of my foundation. Take a damp beauty blender. I'm going to take the back of it. And I'm just going to pounce it just into areas where I feel like I want a little bit more coverage, which is usually my cheeks. And just lightly pouncing it in those areas. Pounce to the gods, honey. Working it also down my neck and up onto my ears. I just had a little itch on my face and I literally just was like using that beauty blender to itch it. Cause come on girl, we don't want to be scratching that. Hell, I'm not taking off all that hard work. Okay, still itches. Okay, I got it. Alright, once I'm happy with that, I think I can go in with my concealers. So I'm using the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. There we go. This is the shade Nude. This is the same concealer I just used to conceal my blemishes. I'm going to take it right up under the eyes, and you do not need a lot of this. Similar to Shape Tape, it's very full coverage. A bit on the chin, right down the center of the nose, keeping that line as straight as possible, and on the center of the forehead. And then I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and just work that in. And the reason that I really love this concealer particularly is because it's still a really nice full coverage concealer, but unlike Shape Tape, it's more hydrating, and I tend to get dry under my under eyes, and where I live, the climate is also really dry. So I just find, I love Shape Tape, obviously it's a classic, but I just find that sometimes when I use it, it's just really drying and my eyes just look like the Sahara Desert. And you know, I'm just not about that life, you know? Sometimes I just want my bottom of my eyes to look like, I don't know, eyes. So just working that in there. Like I said, you don't need a lot. And I'm not trying to really move the product around too much. I'm just trying to press it into the skin. And I like to do my nose last because I like to let that product kind of set for a minute on my nose and then work it in, and that way I can make sure that I just really keep that line super straight, so you know I don't have a crooked nose later when I'm contouring. So just working that into the forehead. And then when I do my nose, I let the product set for a bit, and then I just pinch my beauty blender like that, and I just pounce the product right in to my nose. Again, I'm not really trying to move the product around per se, but just pouncing it lightly, working it into the skin, like so. Next, I'm going to set my under eyes, and I'm not going to set them or let them bake for very long, just because, like I was mentioning before, I tend to get pretty dry under my eyes, and if I bake for too long, I find that they get even more dry. So I'm just using the Mercier translucent setting powder, I'm just gonna dip my beauty blender in there. Like I said, I'm not gonna use too much, but I'm just gonna get right up, especially under the eye where it creases. My beauty blender. Just gonna get it right up in there. In the center of the nose. A bit on the forehead. And I'm gonna let that bake for literally like 5 seconds. And then I'm just gonna take it off. Any excess, which I didn't use much, so there's not a lot of excess. Just take it off with a fluffy brush. So now that I feel nice and bright, we can go in and do a bit of contouring. So for contouring, I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Match Stix. This is the shade Truffle. This shade is pretty dark, so I don't really need a lot. So I'm going to take a Kat Von D, this is like a contouring brush, number 5. And I'm not even gonna put the product directly on my face. I'm just gonna get a little bit on my brush. And I'm just gonna work it into the hollows of my cheeks. And I have been really feeling cream products lately, which is why I'm using the Fenty Beauty Match Stix. Any leftover or excess product on the brush, I can just work into my forehead. I really don't want a lot there on my forehead, and then I can go in and blend this out. And to blend today, I'm just using, like, I'm stippling kind of, and I might just do working the product upwards. Like I said, this color is a little dark, so I just don't really need that much. But I love the Match Stix. See, just doing it a little bit on my cheeks. You don't need a lot. And then just working a little bit on jawline. Now, I don't typically contour my nose, only because I feel like I just don't really love like the 2 dark lines down the sides of my nose, and I feel like when I bring the concealer right down the center and then just right up the sides, it creates kind of a natural contour, and when I highlight later, it will just highlight the center of my nose, and I just don't really feel the need to do those 2 dark lines. My nose is already pretty thin, so, you know, just working with what I got here. Alright, now that I'm happy with that, I can set my face because I'm finished with cream products. So I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. This is the shade Medium. And I'm just gonna go in with a fluffy brush, and I don't need too much. Like I said, I'm trying to keep my skin looking radiant and dewy, avoiding the areas that I already set. I don't need extra powder there, just the face. Next, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of bronzer. So I've got my Bobbi Brown Bronzing Powder. This is the shade Medium, and I'm just going to take a Morphe M438. This is a dome contouring brush, and I'm just gonna dip that in there. And just work that bronzer in. Just really looking for that nice bronzy glow. Working it up to the forehead. And I'm just using upward circular motions for this, and just have a really light hand. Again, always blending until I literally cannot anymore. Do you guys see how radiant this is? Like just, I don't have any highlighter on right now. It's pretty damn good. But you know I'm gonna be adding highlighter anyway, honey. Which is actually what I'm gonna do next. So I am going in with the ILuvSarahii and Dose of Colors highlighter. This is the shade Soulmate. This shit is gorgeous. I'm going to go in with just a highlighting brush. This is the Sephora Pro Highlight Illuminator in the number 98. Just gonna dip that right in there. You guys watch how crazy this is. And just go right on top of the cheeks. You guys see that? Like, yes. Just, yes. Same on the other side. I love this. So pigmented, it's so pretty. A little on the chin. Not too much though, you know. Not too much on the chin. And then I'm going to take a small, this is a Morphe M507. This is the tapered brush that I was using in my crease earlier, and this is what I'm going to use to highlight my nose because I really want to keep it really thin down the center to accentuate the highlight. So just a little bit on the tip of the nose, like so, and then just right down the center. And just keeping that line nice and thin. Like that. This highlighter though, it's gorgeous. Next, I'm just gonna go in with a tiny bit of blush. I think I'm gonna go in with a liquid blush today, just because we're kind of sticking with the liquids and the creams for the most part, and I don't know, I'm just feeling it. So we will put that on and see what we think. So this blush is super, I don't know, pigmented crazy. So I actually don't go directly like beauty blender to face. So I'm just gonna use a little tray and I'm going to take the Nars liquid blush in Orgasm. Just do a small pump right on my tray. I'm going to dip my beauty blender in that pump, and then I'm going to pounce it also on my hand, and then I'm going to pounce it on my cheek. So you have to make this face. See my cheeks there? And I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna take the blush for my cheeks and I'm gonna take it back right between the bronzer and the highlighter, and this kind of acts as like a blender for both. So I'm just going to you guys, this shit is crazy. And then I'll just take the rest that was on the tray, and I'll just get the other side. And don't worry about going overboard with your blush, because your blush is the first thing to like melt off your face. So if you feel like it's super crazy, girl, like just, you have two options, okay? You can leave the house and just work it and rock it and know that in like 20 minutes it's gonna be gone anyway. Or you can just do a quick veil, so you can just take your setting powder, take a fluffy brush and just kind of go over it a bit. That will help to tone it down a little bit. So now that we're feeling like we have our skin on fleeky, we can finish up our eyes. So I'm going to take the same flat brush. This is the Morphe M124 that I was using to do the lid color, and I'm gonna dip it into this shade Dreamer. It's kind of a gold shimmery color, and I'm just going to dip that in there. I'm not getting the brush wet this time, and I'm going to just take it right on the inner corner, brighten that up a bit. I live for bright inner corners. I just cannot get enough of them. You know what's funny is sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget to do it. But when I remember, I'm like, yes, honey, I love it. There's just something about keeping the inner corner really bright. Lastly, we are going to do the waterline and under the eyes. So I'm just going to take this Sephora Pro Smudge Brush. So number 11. Looks like that. I'm going to dip it into Volatile and Love, which were the two shades that we used in the crease. And I'm just gonna mix them and just go right under the lashes. And just making sure I connect it to the outer corner. We're just gonna take a MAC Modern Twist eyeliner in Cat's Meow. I'm just gonna quickly line the under eye, or the waterline. Last but not least, I just want to set that black liner that I just put in and make sure it's not like falling all over my face later. So I'm going to take a Morphe M432. This is just a square flat brush. And I'm going to dip it into a matte black eyeshadow. Any matte black eyeshadow will do fine, but I'm using the matte black from the Huda Beauty. I always do that Smoky Obsessions palette. So I'm just gonna dip that right in there, and then I'm just going to go right underneath the lashes and just pack that in. And that just helps to set the liner in the waterline and make sure it's not going anywhere. And you don't really need a lot for this. Just making sure. You can also fill in like any gaps between your eyelashes. So it's just black for days. And then finally on the lower lash line, I'm just gonna go in with some mascara. I'm using the Tarte Lights Camera Action. And I'm just gonna go in. Alright, so now that my skin and my eyes are finished, I just have one last thing to do, which is these babies. So I'm going to start with the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil. You could use this as a liner, as an eyeliner, as a lip liner, kind of just whatever you're feeling that day. And this is the shade Anywhere Caffeine. This is just a really nice nude shade. And I'm just gonna quickly line my lips. I like to start with the Cupid's bow and then work my way down, and I like to mostly just overline the center of my lips. So that means like just overlining the Cupid's bow and overlining just the center of my bottom lip here just a bit. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna create more of like a pouty kind of shape versus just really big wide lips like straight across. If you need to rest your pinky on your chin to keep your hand steady, that's totally cool. I do that sometimes, I tend to get pretty shaky, so. Okay, so now that I have my lips lined, I'm gonna go in with MAC. This is the shade Blankety. This is a cream lipstick. I'm not really too into using a lot of matte lipsticks right now just because it is dry. My lips get kind of dry, so here we go. Work those together. And then I like to go in with a little bit of liner just one more time. And just make sure that the liner and the lipstick are blended. And lastly, we'll just go in and set everything in place so I can go about my day, not worry about my makeup, you know, falling off my face. So here we go. I love that stuff. Alright guys, so here you have it, the finished look using the Anastasia Norvina palette today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of your support and your love and your kindness. So I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, by the way, my face is already moisturized. Duh, we did that at the beginning.